Incredibles 2. Is it awesome? Is it worth seeing? Join us for our spoiler talk. Well, if you've seen it or, you don't mind everything being spoiled. Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin.
I'm Laura.
And this is our spoiler talk for Incredibles 2. I'm so excited. It took, 14 years? But now finally, the sequel that we've all been waiting for. I mean, it's nice. We got Toy Story sequels, 3 Cars movies, whatever.
I know, but there aren't very many other Pixar.
I don't care.
Yeah,
this is the sequel that has...
You've been waiting for.
It's superheroes. Superheroes deserve franchises. Finally, we get the sequel. And I didn't hate it worse than the first one. So that's something.
That sounds terrible.
No, I really, really liked it. I don't think it was better than the first one, but it's not worse than the first one.
No, I agree. I liked it differently.
Yes.
But I really had a good time.
It was a lot of fun. So kick us off, Laura.
I'm just going to say this. Jack steals the show.
Oh my gosh, he does.
Like every time I laughed, I would say 90% of it was with Jack.
I think one of my favorites was Jack's first arch nemesis, the raccoon. Yeah. The fact that Bob is just asleep on the couch and this crime movie's on, so you have the burglar with the mask.
This is before he knows he has powers.
Yeah, so Jack looks out the window, and there's, nature's bandit out there in the trash can with a mask, and so Jack just... But then the raccoon sticks around and is like a villain. Yeah. It was awesome.
It was awesome.
And to see Jack, it was an epic hero-villain fight between this infant and a raccoon.
And then Edna babysitting him, and she came up with the suit that pretty much solved a lot of their issues, except for the remote that kind of gives him a heads up of what's about to happen got broken by him.
When he became a giant baby.
A giant baby.
Do you think, like...
He had, they counted 17 powers and counting so far.
Well, I'm curious about this because Edna talked about he's still a baby and babies have limitless potential. So do you think he has all these powers because he's a baby?
And I was wondering
and so
that. And
when he grows older, he'll develop into like...
Or he'll pick like the ones that he feels fit him the most and that's what he'll become.
Do you think they'll fall off and he'll just be focused?
I think it'll just depend because like all things, you have incredible potential. But if you choose to weed away certain things and you focus on ones, that's going to be the thing that you excel at. And the other things will, fade away. Kind of like, people speaking a foreign language, if you don't use it, you lose it.
That's true.
So.
Well, I hope he uses all of his powers, because he will grow up and be the greatest hero that the world has ever seen, or the worst villain that the world has ever come.
Oh my gosh, he would be like impossible to
Nobody would defeat him.
He had like everybody's powers. It was crazy.
Oh my gosh. But it was funny, because, like, when you're watching the movie, on the one hand, it's like, well, that's convenient. Like, at the end, when they're stuck in the vent, and the Crusher guy is using his mind powers, and he's crushing the vent.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Jack, like, grows to this giant blob of a baby. Like, there's the film critic of me that wants to go, well, that's just convenient. So, if something bad is happening, we'll just pull a rabbit out of Jack's hat, and suddenly...
It's an animated movie.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, though. Like... When you watch a movie like this, like, the movie critic has to shut up because this type of movie is just made for fun. And when Jack turned into this giant blob of a baby and crushed everybody coming out of the thing.
And then takes off running through the walls and shrinking as he runs.
And then breaking the hole. And as each wall, the hole gets smaller and smaller because he's getting tinier. Like, it's freaking hysterical. So it doesn't bother me as a plot device that for every scenario they're in, suddenly he has a power that's a cure because the way they pulled it off. It was freaking hysterical.
It was just hysterical. Because it's like, and some of the, like, mom and dad jokes. You see the one about math in the trailers, which that was great. But there were a couple other ones where he's just sleepless and, letting somebody else watch his kid. That probably would be a terrible babysitter like normally.
Edna,
yeah.
Who would have been, except she was super interested in Jack's
because she kept seeing the powers manifest.
Did you catch when Bob shows up to pick up Jack and they're walking down the hall, the baby is walking just like Edna and doing all the same mannerisms and all that stuff.
And instead of having whatever pencil thing that she has, he has a lollipop.
Yes.
And like apparently she gave him powers because his hand worked and her scanner and his eyes. And
she put his biometrics into her system, which was...
And she basically said she would babysit him anytime, probably because he's such a fascination to her.
Yeah, Jack was...
He stole the show, man.
He stole the show.
The whole storyline, the storyline was good. It had heart behind it. It
did.
It was, but if I'm going to talk about this movie, most of it would be about that.
Yeah, because Jack was hilarious.
Yeah. But,
I thought the story here. So you said storyline, so I'll jump in.
Yeah, that's where I was going too.
Okay, so what was kind of cool about the storyline was they did a good job with the supervillain, the Screenslaver.
Except for it was very predictable.
Well, no, that's not what I mean. I mean, like, when the Screenslaver was doing their massive speech and Elastigirl was tracking down the Screenslaver and we're listening to the speech and he's like, you're all so lazy, you can't even play your own games, so you watch game shows. You're already slaves. But, like, I'm listening to that, and here's a sequel that takes place moments after the first one, but it's 14 years later.
Yeah.
But they seamlessly wove in modern jokes in there in a way that fit. But at the same time, that whole thing about being a slave to your screen and the Screenslaver playing off of that was a legit superhero villain that would be good in any superhero film. Like, I enjoyed that.
No, I mean, well, my only qualm was it was incredibly predictable. But I feel like, especially with this, I mean, that wouldn't deter my rating at all, the predictability, because I feel like it was easier for some of the kids. Yeah. Because, I mean, you could kind of see it coming as an adult, but I don't think kids saw it coming at all.
I don't think so. But also, kids don't think about
and
that.
I mean, and the kids in our theater were loving it. They were laughing. Honestly, I feel like 90% of Jack Jack was probably for the kids in the theater.
But I'm in my 30s and I'm sitting there cracking up.
Oh, and I'm laughing. Awesome. I mean, we don't have kids, but I'm laughing at the parent jokes because my poor sisters, I get it. And but I just it was great. It
was pretty great. Yeah, that was, and it was kind of cool, the role reversal where now it's Elastigirl that they want because Bob, with all of his strength, keeps, like, you know, knocking down buildings.
She's more of the
stealth,
safe public image person.
She's a safe public image and stuff like that, and he kind of knocks things over. And so she's cheaper and she does less damage, and so she would be the key. Like you said, though, it was very predictable who the Screenslaver was.
Yes.
But
like right from the beginning.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because, like, okay, so the dude whose name I now totally forget, the brother and sister team running that company.
Yes.
The dude played by Marshall's boss from How I Met Your Mother, who loves his dog Tugboat.
Yes.
So that guy, like, he was so, like, innocent and so wanted heroes. Like, it was either he's playing up that innocence and he's the villain, or she's straight up his sister.
Well, no, it was, to me, it was either just straight up his sister, or, what was that movie with, The Rock, Rampage?
Yes.
Or it was going to be like that, where the brother was just an idiot, but on board with the sister who was...
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And thankfully he wasn't the idiot and he was a good guy. But it was pretty obvious that the villain was the sister running the company. But here's the funny thing. When you go see an animated film like Pixar, do you really care that it's predictable? I hope not. I hope you're going in there because...
For an adventure and
you're going in for an adventure and for the... Yeah, like she said, for adventure and for fun. And so, for me, that's what it was. It was the adventure and it was the fun, and I had an absolute blast with it. And like I said, Screenslaver... great villain moniker, even. Like, the whole concept of that was really cool.
Yeah, that could be a villain they could really
and a
use
non-powered villain using screens to hypnotize even the strongest of superheroes.
Yeah.
That was cool.
It was.
What did you think of the other heroes? Like what was that? The Vortex girl who could create all those little...
Oh my gosh, why can't
and the
I
owl
just
guy.
had it.
Oh my gosh, I almost vomited every time Reflex used his powers. And the old guy shoots up fiery acid reflux. I'm just looking at him like, that is burning mucus.
Void. That was her name.
Void.
Oh, I knew it was going to come to me.
Gosh, I'm calling her Vortex.
I know.
Void was cool.
I will say, when I saw Void's power, I'm like, ooh, Jack's going to use that against her. Because Jack can go into the other dimensions. But that was the only thing I predicted that was wrong.
They didn't... I really thought, because they played up Jack going in that other dimension
dimension a lot.
So I really thought that they were going to do... Especially when they got the Incredible car back. Yes. And they were all in the car, and Jack did the dimensional thing, and they were in the dimension with him in the car. I thought for sure they were going to do something, and
but
nothing
didn't.
happened.
We were kind of, so that was probably the only thing that they didn't need it.
No, they didn't.
It just caught us off guard.
It just felt like a lot of build-up for Jack going into... Yeah, and I thought the same thing about Void. Yeah. I thought the same thing was going to happen with her. I thought Jack, because her powers, sending things to another dimension or opening up these different portals and stuff, I thought it was similar enough that they were going to play with that between her and the baby, and they didn't.
But they didn't. But it's okay.
It didn't ruin anything. No. It was just, we thought it was going to go that way. Yeah. I really have no idea what else to say.
It's a fun movie.
It is.
If you like the first one, definitely go see this.
Yeah.
100%. It's worth it. It's worth your time. We'll buy it.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. We're buying that thing on...
I mean, that's fun. I want to take my nephews and nieces to go see it. I don't think it was over the top, like, violent. If they've seen the first one, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Totally.
Well, like, there's this little girl behind us when we're walking out, younger than, I think, our youngest niece.
Okay.
And she was recounting the raccoon scene and how great that was.
I love the
and
raccoon scene.
She didn't seem traumatized by anything else.
Well, I felt like, actually, if you think about it, the first one is a little more violent because, I mean, these kids are killing people. and this one, I wouldn't necessarily say the kids killed anybody.
No, I wouldn't say that either.
Yeah, not that... I'm just trying to play it back. I don't think they
But
did
it was a
this
solid superhero movie.
It was a lot of fun.
Yes. So, I don't know. So
I give it a solid A.
Yep, I gave it... Wow, I gave it an A-.
I should say it this way. I give it a solid A when it comes to animated movies. But compared to, like, a movie that really pulls me in, like Lord of the Rings or Matrix or this, it would be way down there compared to the, like,
Lord of the Rings
movies.
is animated? Are you talking about the old
No,
cartoon?
I'm saying in comparison to an epic movie.
Oh, an epic movie.
Yeah.
I thought you said animated movie.
No, in regards to animated movies... It's up there. That's why it gets a solid A.
That makes sense. Yes.
I mean, it's up there. I mean, I love this movie. I would watch it again. It's up there with Shrek and Tangled for me, which are probably my two most favorite animated movies right now.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, something has gone in the water because I gave it an A-.
I know.
She
I'm
gave
more
it an
positive
A,
than you today.
and now she's more positive than me, but I loved it. So, like, I don't really have
okay.
too much negative to say. It's a great film, like she said, like I said in my spoiler-free. If you like the first one, you like the tone, you like the comedy, it's the same thing. Yes. But it's the sequel, and it's just the next chapter of the story. So if you like the first chapter, you'll love chapter 2.
And then, do you think you have to have seen the first one to see this? You'll miss out on a couple plot points, but not necessary. So if you haven't seen the first one and you like animated, I think
it isn't super necessary. It does pick up right where the first one ended. Like, the exact spot we pick up right there, and that fight with the Enderminer continues. So it's
never caught the Enderminer.
Maybe he's the villain of the third one.
Interesting.
We shall have to wait and see if they even make a third one, but they should, because this was awesome.
Yes.
So 14 years from now, I'll be sitting here in front of my virtual camera, in front of whatever tube exists on the internet in those days, and we will talk about Incredibles 3. Until then, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And
this way, you get the notification when the third movie comes out.
Yeah, that way you get the notification. Hit the bell so you're notified immediately when that drops and all that fun stuff. In the comments, let us know what you thought of this movie. And, wow, you threw me all off now. Now I'm thinking about all, like, future things. And anyway.
Oh, thanks for watching.
I'm Durbin.
I'm Laura.
Thanks for checking out Durbania.